today with a particular woman who has become a voice for a generation of Aussie women and reaches millions of page views per month on her website, Mamma Mia, the one and only Mia Freedman.
But if I look at the through line through my career, I've always tried to make a difference for women. That's kind of been my passion and my core purpose. So we've articulated that properly with Mamma Mia. Our core purpose as a business is to make the world a better place for women and girls.
Yes, I love that.
And we do that through the content that we produce to make women feel seen and heard and understood. We do it through our amplification and financial support of women's charities. And we also send 100 girls to school every day in some of the poorest countries in the world.
I saw that. That's very impressive.
But also you can make the world a better place for women and girls just by making them laugh or by making them read something that teaches them something about what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me was how much you didn't enjoy working in television. And what I loved was how you were working from your lounge room in your pajamas when you started your blog.
Yeah.
What was it that you knew? Was it a gut instinct? Was it, okay, the online world is thriving, I need to be a part of it? Where you knew, you know what, I have to leave, you know, a secure job and a steady income, which, you know, we
great
need.
Income.
Yeah, great income, to go to nothing, being by yourself, no sense of security, nothing to fall back on, because I'm doing it at the moment and I thought it was going to be exciting, but I'm
really scary.
Yes, I'm petrified.
I know. Well, I think that probably the main reason I did that, or how I knew, you talk about a gut instinct, something that I was taught by my first boss, Lisa Wilkinson, was to always put yourself in the shoes of, or the eyes and the ears of your audience, not yourself. And for me, having always worked in women's media, I was in the eyes and ears of women consuming media, and I am a consumer of media, crazy consumer of media. So I knew that the reason I left magazines was because I knew that women were not looking at magazines anymore. They were starting to move online. Then I took this detour via TV. I realized TV wasn't the future. And I realized that online was. And if you wanted to create content for women, which I've done all my life, don't know how to do anything else, then online, digital had to be where it was at.
Absolutely.
So in many ways, I had to look forward, but also I was so miserable where I was. I couldn't, staying there, taking the paycheck wasn't an option.
It wasn't.
So I had to go.
You had to go.
Yeah. And for those who want to become a lady startup and start their own thing, I always say, it's often good to start as a side hustle, because diving everything into it and leaving behind a secure income can be a big risk.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, most of us start our lady startups and our businesses because we see a gap in the market, but you've also got to establish that there's a market in that gap. So, you know, that's what I did by starting Mamma Mia as a blog and making no money but building a strong audience, which then got the point to say, okay, let's try to monetize this and turn this into a business instead of the world's most expensive hobby.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you. There's so many girls out there that are starting their own blog, starting their own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. Why did it work for you? Like, I know you said it's about recognizing the gap in the market and being that little bit different, but I know lots of people out there that have, you know, picked a niche, but they can't get the following, they can't get their voice out there, you know. Obviously, you've got help from national TV and what have you, and because you are amazing, but what advice do you give to people that are just trying to make it work, but they can't?
Such a good question. A lot of it can come down to timing. So I started Mamma Mia as a blog in 2007 and I noticed sort of around 2010 and 2011, even 2012, everyone was starting a blog. It became much harder around that time to make it work because there was just such a proliferation of them. Similarly with podcasts, we started our podcast network about 4 years ago, and now everyone's like, I want to start a podcast, I want to start a YouTube channel. Sometimes you just have to have early mover advantage.
Absolutely.
And it's hard. If I have one superpower, it's knowing what women are going to want just a bit before they're going to want it.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm one of those crazy futurists that says, in 5 years we'll all be doing this. I wouldn't have a clue. And if anyone asks me what I'm doing beyond next week, I can't tell them. But I always sort of follow my own curiosities, and my curiosity took me to digital
Yes.
with the blog at first, and then my curiosity took me to podcasts.
Amazing. Because I noticed it was on your interview with Show and Tell. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and you said how when you were working as an editor,
Yeah.
you wanted to, one of your goals was you wanted to showcase real women in magazines.
I did.
And you worked with a fashion team who were kind of against everything that you stood for.
Yeah.
They gritted their teeth the whole way through.
Hated me.
Hated you.
I lost so many fashion editors.
Oh my gosh. But like, how do you feel now knowing you were a cause of how we perceive women today? Because women of all different shapes and sizes are amazing. You know, the more
Yeah.
authentic you are, the more beautiful you are. It's not so much a one look, you know, that's it. Now it's so different. So how does it feel knowing that you were an influence of that?
That's really nice of you to say that. I don't know. It's great where we are, but
Yeah.
we've even got further. You know, what I see now is that the gatekeepers of how women are portrayed are not magazine editors and photographers anymore. They're us. We've all got our own phones, and it breaks my heart that women and young girls are using apps to alter their bodies and do what
Photoshop, you name it.
and Facetune
I
and
can make
stuff.
my eyes blue if I want.
Yeah, why are we doing that to ourselves?
Why?
What does that say? The fact that we've now taken on this role of objectifying ourselves. So I still think that we've got further to go.
We have
But
so
I'm
much.
hugely cheered by, you know, different advertising campaigns and artists like Lizzo and,
Yes.
you know, who are just Rihanna, who are making a difference.
Making a difference.
Yeah. It depends where you look. For example, Twitter is a cesspool, and I'm not there anymore. It didn't
Yeah.
always used to be. Twitter was delightful in the early days.
Twitter was fun.
It was so much fun. It was full of people just trying to be smart and clever and say something that would amuse other people in 140 characters.
Absolutely.
And it was people trying to be their best.
Yeah.
Now it's where people go when they're angry and when they want an audience to perform outrage in front of.
Absolutely.
So I choose not to engage. Not only am I not on Twitter, I've deleted my account. And you know, I had over 100,000 followers, and it's just
That's
like,
big to delete that.
yeah, because I don't want anyone ever thinking that they can have my attention. Even if I don't read it, I don't want anyone to think that I'm supporting a platform that allows women to be abused and harassed.
Well, yeah.
So I'm not there at all. But, you know, and I find Instagram to be a delightful place. I find
Instagram's creative.
Facebook groups to be nice.
Yes.
I find commenters on our articles and listeners to our podcasts who dial in or who participate in our Facebook groups. It can be really lovely. And I think that
keyboard
it's
warriors.
well, yeah, you've got to curate your own social experience. So if you find social media to be horribly negative, change who you follow, change how you operate.
Absolutely. And
That's my
what about
advice.
media in general?
Again, if it can be, it depends where you look. So, for example, we launched a daily podcast called The Quickie because we felt that the news was so... Women and men perceive news differently, and women
Yes.
often get anxiety hangovers from watching the news because it can be very violent or very
I
traumatizing,
know.
and it can really stay with you. So we thought women are interested in what's going on in the world, but we don't want it sensationalized and for it to be traumatizing. So we've got this daily podcast called The Quickie that comes out. It's only 15 minutes.
Love
and
it.
deep dives, covers the news headlines, but in a non-traumatizing way. So
And you don't leave feeling like,
no, you don't, because I think that there is a lot of negativity out there, and if you choose to
Absolutely.
focus on it, you'll feel pretty shit.
and the one thing that overcomes negativity is hope.
It does. Hope's very important.
Has there been a point in your life where you thought, fuck, this isn't going to work?
Oh, all the points.
Like that
Every point.
one that stood out that you were like, that this is a really bad point in my life, one that preferably people don't know about, and you felt like you turned it into a positive.
Oh, there have been times when, you know, in business you call it the deep trough of pain. When you are in the deep trough of pain, and it is exactly what it sounds like, and you just think, I can't do this. This is not going to work. I can't. And when you've been in business a long enough time, you realise right, oh, this is the deep trough of pain. And it's called a trough because you do usually get out of it. And yes, there have been times in my life when I've had a nervous breakdown with anxiety.
Yeah.
I've had times when I've been pushed to the edge in business. I've had times when I've been at the bottom of a social media pylon. Yeah. And I've just thought, I actually can't do this anymore. You know, times at Channel 9 when I was absolutely miserable. And what I've learned is that nothing stays the same. It either gets worse or it gets better, and usually it gets better. Yeah, and I think that
I believe it gets
acknowledging it is really, really important.
Like, this is a shit time.
Yeah.
It's gonna get better.
Exactly. And you say, this is a really shit time, rather than I am shit or life is shit.
I need to quit my job, I need to do something else, I need to change, stick to it.
Just go, you know what, this too will pass. And almost always it does.
I like that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I really like fortune cookies. I'm one of those people
they're so delicious.
who really like the sort of bland, crunchy taste.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, what's it gonna be?
You will be traveling and coming into a fortune.
Oh,
That's very funny. We are about to go. Well, that's nice.
I love that.
We are about to go on the road with the Mamma Mia Out Loud live tour, and also I'm doing a one-woman show around Australia as well. So that is true.
Oh, perfect. Thank you,
true.
Mia. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. A Minute with Mia Freedman.